We want to complete the following two-column proof. And what we know is we know that SR is parallel to UT. And that's marked up in our picture with the red arrow. We also know that angle S is congruent to angle U. Again, something else that is marked up in our picture. And what we want to come up with then are what are some of the other statements and reasons. And at least on this particular problem, we've got the possible statements and we have possible reasons. So that can be helpful for us. And the thing is, there is a little bit of room for order, changing up the order. So in this particular case, what we see is that this is a shared side triangle. So maybe you want to start with the fact that you know in here, and sorry about the spelling, that somewhere in this problem, there's going to be a reflexive property. And in fact, when you look up here, well, where is that shared side? Because the shared side is what's going to be the reflexive property. It's going to be the TR. So when we look down over here, it's written a little bit wacky because sometimes the OST test writes it a little bit wacky. But TR equals RT is what our statement is here. And it's not equals, it's congruent. So TR is congruent to RT. Shared sides always have the reflexive property in them. Bow ties always have vertical angles in them. That's something that you can bring with you to the test. Well, within our given here, we're also given that we've got parallel lines. And what we can do then is we can make a statement about parallel lines. And in this particular case, two parallel lines, not very parallel based on my drawing here, cut by a transversal. What we know is that alternate interior angles are congruent. So we look down here, do we have one of those statements? And we do. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Before I get going too much farther, I do want to mark up the triangle because that is a strong recommendation on my part. Make sure that we mark it up so we can identify what kind of shortcut we're going to be using. Side, 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 angle, or whatever the other two are. But the alternate interior angles here are congruent. Again, the nice part is that we've got some over here to look at. We've got three choices. So if we start with the first one, that's in the middle to the left of the possible statement box. It says TSR is congruent to RUT. TSR is congruent to RUT. We already have a mark in that corner, so it's not going to be that one. So let's try the angle STR is congruent to URT. STR is congruent to URT. And if we mark that up here, that angle and that angle, looking at them, are those alternate interior angles? And they are. So because they're alternate interior angles, we can use that second one, which is at the bottom left here, and that is the angle STR is congruent to angle URT. And we already have the reason, and we do have our picture marked up. But I'll slow down for a minute to let you get caught up, or pause the video if you need to. But we're almost done. And the next part is going to be proving that these two triangles are congruent. And what am I talking about with regards to these two triangles? Well, this triangle and our other triangle. Very hard for me to draw in, just a little bit disoriented, but you get the idea from the colors there. So when we look at this, looking down below, because we've already taken care of, we used this statement, there's only one triangle statement down there. So that's going to be our next step, which is triangle STR is congruent to triangle URT. And we look back up at the picture and we want to identify Y here, and I'm going to erase everything for a minute and just fill it back in so we can really look and determine Y. But what we said is, we said that that TR is congruent to RT, and then we also said that this angle here is congruent to that angle there. And what we have in this problem is we have two angles and one side. So that's going to narrow it down. Two angles and one side. It's going to narrow it down to the angle side angle or the angle angle side. Because both of those shortcuts have two angles and a side in them. Then the question becomes, is the side included or is the side not included? And when we look back up here, well, the side's not included. We've got angle U, we've got angle R, and we've got the side. It's not in between. If we had the side in between, we'd know UR, and we don't. And because the side is not included, this one's going to be angle, angle, side for a reason. And then lastly, well, why is ST congruent to UR? Well, those are parts of our congruent triangle, and that's going to be the CPCTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent.